Prototyping is building a preliminary model. It's not the complete or the final model, but preliminary model, which is built rapidly and inexpensively. And many prototypings can be done using simple things like PowerPoint slides to complicated, complex softwares that are in use. In all these processes, prototyping is done as a 4-step process. The number 1 is to identify the user's basic requirements. This is the requirement analysis that we talked about before. Number 2 is to develop an initial prototype. A prototype can be done as a storybook. It can be done as a series of website pages. It can be done as, if you click on this is going to go to the next development process, and from there a method should be built, so on and so forth. It can be done in many ways. And once the initial prototype is developed, then you use the prototype to go and talk to your customers, to go and talk to your teammates, to your management, and then see how this can be enhanced or improvised. Once you get all the requirements from everyone or the stakeholders around you, then you can revise and enhance the prototype to a final prototype. And then this final prototype will be used for the basic SDLC that we talked about before. So this is done as a preliminary model so that everybody can see what is going on with this particular system, and everybody understands the functionalities, the features, and if they want to add any functionality or add any features, they can do so. This is very useful in designing a user interface, because you can bring the users or the end users in a prototyping session, and then you can show them the prototype and ask them, hey, is this the right thing to do for you, or is it easy for you, or is it ease of use for you, so on and so forth. So prototyping is pretty much done in every walk of life in IT systems. The prototyping process, as we described before, has got the 4 steps. So you identify the basic requirements, you develop a working prototype, you use the prototype, and if the user is satisfied with it, you go for it as an operational prototype. If the user is not satisfied with that, you revise and enhance the prototype and then go back to the step 3 so that you can bring the users again to see whether they are satisfied or not, till everybody is satisfied. So this is an easy to develop process, and it is also very useful in the end because this helps you in change management process as well. Remember, we talked about change management, which basically is making sure that the end users are satisfied with the end product, and how you can make sure that the end users can use this in the future without any fight or without any problems. The end user development is important in IT systems because they are the ones who make or break the systems. End users create simple information systems with little or no assistance from specialists. The end user development is done or completed more rapidly than systems developed with conventional tools. It often leads to higher level of user involvement, and the satisfaction of these end users with the systems is of utmost importance. End user development also helps systems who cannot handle large numbers of transactions because it makes it easy for them to do that. And it avoids any organizational risks or mitigate any organizational risks. Usually, when systems cannot be implemented or programmed in a company, then you go for application software packages from outside. And that can be done in many ways. Most times nowadays, companies do go for outsourcing if they cannot find the right software. If they cannot find the right software, then they have to go for either domestic or offshore outsourcing. Outsourcing is a very easy term to think of. If I give a part of my work to my neighbor, that is also outsourcing. If I give a part of my work to a company in the next state, that is also outsourcing. If I give part of my work to an offshore company, like maybe in India or South Korea, then that is offshoring or offshore outsourcing. When I do any type of outsourcing, when I want a software package, I usually go for what is called a request for proposal. For this, you need to have the right specifications. You need to have general solutions, which is written very clearly so that somebody else can look at that and tell you a quote saying, hey, this is how it is going to be costing. And this is how long it will take, so on and so forth. The application software packages or cloud software packages generally consist of these customization of features. They are generalized systems for universal functions with standard processes. We also have something called RAD, which is Rapid Application Development. The rapid application development goes for the agility, scalability, and fast cycle techniques. So what happens is this. In an organization, when you are in need of a software, you want to make sure that it is scalable, which means if I have a software for 100 people now, and then my company expands to 1,000 people, I should be able to use the same software. I should use the same database. For that, you need to make sure that the database and the software are scalable. And for that, they need to work on various techniques. And rapid application development uses various techniques to see how to develop software in an agile or a scalable or a fast cycle technique. Now, RAD or rapid application development consists of creating systems or software in a very short period of time, whereas a joint application design uses end users. The way JAD or JAD works is you involve the end users right from the beginning of the solution, so that the information systems professionals can work with the end users right from the beginning, so they can work together on the design aspects of the systems right from the beginning. Agile development has been a very popular for the past 10 years, and it is getting more and more popular in the sense that agile development includes end users all the time, and they are done in short modules. A system is broken into small modules, and every module is completed with the end user's input and tested with the end user, and then the next module is going to be done the same way, include the end user and test the system, and then they'll get integrated, and then the third one is done, and they get integrated with the first, second. So this is done in a modular fashion, and this is done also in using end users in all the processes. Structured methodologies or step-by-step techniques. Structured means that the techniques are step-by-step, with each step building on the previous one. So if I'm building a systems, you have an A, and B is done after A, and C is done after B, and each one is used to document, analyze, and design the information systems. Structured methodologies are often top-down. That means you start from the top, from an abstract space to a detailed space. Structured development methods are very process-oriented. They focus primarily on modeling the process and capture, store, manipulate, distribute data as the data flows through the system. These methods actually separate data from processes. A separate programming procedure is written every time someone wants to take an action on a particular piece of data. The procedures act on the data that the program passes to them. The primary tool that is used in structured methodologies is often called DFD, which is data flow diagram. The process specifications describe the transformations that occur with the lowest point or the lowest level of the data flow diagram, and it shows the logic for each process. A structure chart is a top-down chart showing each level of design and the relationship of those levels to other levels, and it places the overall design structure of the data flow diagram. Let's take a look at the data flow diagram. So this is a data flow diagram for a mail-in university registration system. So a student requests courses. So the systems verifies that the courses are available. And then it's based on that, it is accepted or rejected. The selections done by the student, who continues to enroll in the course that they want. Once they enroll, then the system confirms the registration to the student and maybe even sends a confirmation letter. At the back end, these courses are put into a file or into a student master file, and these course details are also given at that time by the instructors, and then the courses are open so that it can be verified for availability. So this data flow diagram tells you the whole process of a mail-in university registration system. Often organizations use what is called object-oriented development. And this has been popular for the past 30 years and continues to be so. So originally you had softwares like C, and which was modified or changed to what is called C++. These were the original software tools or programming languages that were used. So the C language is not an object-oriented language. It's a basic structured language. The C++ is an object-oriented